Average girls, average and owning it. Average and owning it. Yeah.
Hey, you there. Hey, you there. Hey, you there. I see you. you know that one?
Yeah, but I don't remember what it's from. What's it from?
This is a song.
Oh, okay.
Hey, what's up? And we back, and we back, and we back, and we back.
Maddie, how are you? I feel, this feels really intimate. Maddie's grabbing the back of my head like she's literally about to pull me right in for a kiss.
Yes.
It just felt, like, I don't think, but did you see how I didn't move?
Yeah, you were like frozen by my love.
I don't know. Okay.
Really
I don't really know how to elaborate on that. Okay.
I'm good. How are you, Haley?
I'm fantastic.
That sounded very sarcastic.
I'm just doing
Has your week
great.
been okay?
Yeah. No, my week's been great.
Okay.
Yeah, I just worked.
Nice.
Yeah.
Same. Wag, 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 wag. I'm really songy.
You really songy.
I'm really songy right now.
My therapist said, "How do you feel?" And I said,
Songy.
Just
What about you?
a little songy.
Do people ask questions back that their therapist can answer?
What do you mean?
Like if they're like, "How are you?" You can be like, "How are you?"
Well, yeah, but like your therapist isn't going to be like, "Actually, it's been a really tough week." Your therapist is going to be like,
I
"No,
know,
I'm
but that
good."
just feels like such a fake interaction then.
Yeah.
Like they're gonna say good.
Yeah.
Because they can't be bad in front of you.
Well, right. It's just like a weird, like you're.
I don't want to talk to a fake person.
Well, yeah, but you also don't want to. You're not going to want to open
I'm
up
not
to a
paying
therapist
them-
whose life is falling apart.
I'm not paying them to be very broken too.
Right. Yeah. No, I'm paying you to have it together, and then you bill me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess that makes sense, but whatever.
Yeah. No, it's always weird too whenever I have girls. It's not weird because I think it's cute, but it's like, but granted, I'm dealing with people that are younger than me.
Mm-hmm.
But they'll always be like it'll be in the middle of something. I'll be like, I don't know, do you ever have a panic attack? And I'm like,
Do you have to lie?
no. I mean, I usually just kind of,
Talk about it like it was a past thing?
like I'm not having one right now.
Like I didn't have one right before this.
No, we kind of like gloss. I mean, it's just not about me. So it's like, well, yeah, but like panic is a really normal thing for everyone to experience. How do you experience it? You kinda,
Okay. You kind of flip.
You kind of dodge it.
Flip it around a little.
Yeah, or just make it sound like everybody experiences it. Well, because they do.
A lot of people do. Yeah.
Yeah, but
Just normalize it.
they always like randomly, and this is the amount of times this happens with teenage girls, and I think I probably would have done this too. So I can't.
They
even
ask
say
you about
anything.
your love life.
Every time,
I
like
knew
without
it.
fail. If they're talking about a boy, they're like, "You ever got a man, Miss Haley?" And I'm like, "Actually, no."
Do you say no?
No, I'll just be like, "Girl, I don't have time. You know I don't have time," and then we just kind of move on.
That's smart.
Um,
That is so funny.
I posted this on my story the other day, but we were in group therapy the other day, and we were on Zoom with two of my students because they're at home because of COVID. And one of their like get to know you questions they had to write down was, "What's your biggest pet peeve?" And as they're writing it down, one of the girls just unmutes and just yells, "Men!" and just muted herself again. That was it. I was crying. I was like, who hurt the 17-year-old? She's not dealing with men. Does she realize that? Does she realize she's dealing with boys?
Yeah.
Yeah. They're funny. But anyways, yeah, so the thing is, yeah, you don't really tell your clients how you're doing.
Yeah.
You lie.
That's so weird.
I mean, like, you can.
I know you shouldn't like bleed on the people you're helping. Like
Right.
that doesn't do anything.
Right.
But then it also just feels so not real to me, and I don't like that.
I did tell a story the other day, which normally I'm really big on not self-disclosing.
Yeah.
Just because, like, teenagers are nosy, and they, like, I don't know. I'm just weird about it.
Yeah.
So they don't know much about my life beyond what they need to know. But the other day, I had a girl who was having, like, a really hard day, and she just needed, she was feeling panicky, so I ended up kind of just working distraction into the game a little.
Mm-hmm.
What are you looking at?
I'm looking at you and this thing. Keep going.
Why?
Okay.
Okay. But so we needed to like use distraction a little bit, and she ended up telling me about how something about like a Friday night football game. Basically, it was how it came to, and I was like, oh, okay. I usually don't tell stories, especially stories about me in high school, just because I don't like to level myself like that. I don't know. It just feels weird. And they ended up telling me a whole story about how I was on the sidelines in high school. I have a vivid memory of this. Vivid. standing on the sidelines in a hawk costume. Okay, I'm the high school mascot.
I always forget that.
I'm looking through the eyes,
too good.
the little netted eyes of the 60-year-old hawk. It smells like cheese. I'm in Spanx and a sports bra, because that's all you can wear in these.
No.
And I'm crying hysterically, and no one knows. And I'm like breaking down, like in the hawk costume, like doing the touchdown dances, like running back and forth. And I'm crying because my high school ex-boyfriend was in front of me on the field, and he did something. Shout out Christopher, I don't know. And I remember looking at him and just crying, but I'm in the hawk costume, so no one knows. So I'm like kind of free crying.
That's amazing.
No, I know. So I started telling her this story about all of it, and she's dying laughing. So it worked. It worked exactly as I needed it to. But it was like, as much as I've self-disclosed, and I was like, I think I'm going to regret it as soon as I tell her this. But I just needed her to get out of her head and think about like, actually, it's like I feel stupid now. I'm not like, I don't look at it like, oh, that was the moment my heart broke. Like I wanted to give her some perspective of like, you think you had it bad? I was having a breakdown in a hot costume. Nothing is that serious.
Breaking it down.
No, that was good.
Thank you.
Okay.
Oh gosh, that is so funny. I would totally overshare if I was a counselor.
Really? Yeah, but you have boundaries though. Like I even have a hard time with boundaries in general.
Yeah,
but like
true.
I even like you figure it out. I mean, maybe in the beginning it's a little bit weirder just because like.
Yeah, I think I wouldn't ever want to work with that age group though. Like I would, if I were to actually be a counselor, I think it would be for adults.
Really?
Which I feel like I could disclose a little bit more.
Oh, see, I don't think I could ever work with adults.
Oh, really?
No, never.
Why?
I love teenagers.
Oh, I don't.
I love teenagers and I love kids.
Them, but not in that way.
So I just don't think but granted, I think right now I feel really uncomfortable working with people that are older than me. Well, not really uncomfortable, because I can do family therapy and be fine. But if I'm not looking at it from the lens of helping their kid, I feel weird about it. Like whenever.
But no. I get that because we're young.
Yeah.
So it makes sense that you have some, like, you're a few steps ahead of like high schoolers. You've been there and done that.
Yeah.
But I imagine like working with adults when I'm like older. I'm not this age. I'm like 55.
Yeah, but what are you going to do before then?
All the other stuff.
Okay.
I don't know.
Okay, let's hot take instead of therapy.
Okay, so for today's hot take, we're going to talk about 2 things that we dream to be or have or become. 2 things that like it would be a dream to have this, or I dream to become X, Y, or Z. It can be as deep or as shallow. Like you could be like, I dream to have a BMW when I'm older. Like that's fine. Or you can say
I don't think
something.
I have any like material ones.
I don't think I do either.
I mean, not like specific. I mean, like I want to have a house, but like.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just. I feel like that's a normal thing. Oh, I think my big one is probably to be a foster parent. Like, I really want to be a foster parent.
Okay, yeah,
and I want to have, like, a bunch of little kids running around and it being homey. I have this dream in my head that I'm going to have, I want to be, like, a respite care house. So, like, at 2 a.m. Kids get removed that are on, like, the emergency housing people. And so I want to, like, I just have this little visual, and it probably is not going to be like this. But, like, these kids that are just pissed and don't want to be there and like hate the idea of being in a house that isn't theirs, I want to just like eat pizza on the kitchen floor with them. Just like be like, all right, this is tradition. When you come to our house, we're eating pizza on the kitchen floor. And just like hanging out. Wouldn't that be fun?
Yeah, I picture kids that are like scared or anxious or like sad that they just got taken from somewhere, and then they walk into their house and they're like, this is nice.
It makes me want to cry.
And then they see
I want to do it so bad.
And you're like, hi. And they're like, hi.
Yeah, but see, like, I don't want to ever get old. Because I feel like I'm not going to be, like, they're going to be like, oh, this old lady. But I'm like, no, but I'm young at heart.
Yes. Oh.
Why am I crying in the club?
You're going to make me cry.
Why are you going to cry?
Because you're crying.
Maddie cries for me more often than not.
Probably. Yeah. And if you're crying, like you, but also like anyone, I'm crying with you. I also think that's another reason I couldn't be like a therapist.
Oh, I've cried in session before.
Oh, I think I would cry a lot.
Yeah, I think you'd probably cry more than I do.
Yeah.
Antidepressants, baby. I can't do it. Before I probably did it more.
Oh.
But I don't do it as much anymore, but I used to.
The other day, I was watching, and by this I mean like in quarantine, like 4 months ago, I was watching American Idol at Corey's house in Georgia. We were all watching it, and this like lame girl came on and told her story, and it was like not moving at all.
Okay.
And she was crying, and
So
I
you
was
were just
looking
there.
at her crying,
You had to.
and I looked over, and I was like, I don't even like feel moved at all about this. I'm just
What?
crying because I can't watch somebody else cry.
Really? Okay, now I feel less sentimental about you crying.
Although I am very easily moved.
That's true.
Like, it's both and. One part is I can't watch it, but most of the time I'm having deeper cryy conversations with friends that I like love, and I'm crying with them. But it's just weird. Like, if someone's on stage and they're getting like emotional, I'm getting emotional right there with them.
I think I normally do
100%
too.
of the time.
Usually if someone else is getting emotional.
Yes, I'm right there.
I was done crying about Ruth Bader Ginsburg. Not to bring up Ruth Bader Ginsburg again,
Uh-huh.
but I was done crying about her after like first night. I was like, okay, Haley, get it together. And then I saw people crying at her funeral, and I was out.
Oh, see, that would ruin me.
Yeah, no, it was over for
But
me.
I would never cry about her by myself. I would admire her and have deep respect
You'd have-
for her.
yeah.
But that's the weird part. And I go home after a really hard day or a really long day, or I'm having like a total anxiety attack, like crazy. I'm not crying at all.
But if someone else were to be crying, then you're...
But if someone else came in and said, I had the hardest day, and like started getting teary-eyed, I would be bawling with them. I don't know why.
Oh, see, I think I might be the opposite. I think if you're crying in front of me, I think I go into overdrive, like, protective mode, or like support mode, where I feel like I can't, or I shouldn't.
Yes, I don't have that gear. I wish I did. I wish that sometimes I know I'm like, oh, I need to be the strong one right now, but I just break. Like,
I think
all of me just breaks.
I'm way more of a, like, if a girl tells me something really hard and then leaves my office, I'm gonna cry after she leaves.
I do that with family.
Oh.
I'll have a really hard conversation.
Ooh, I'm the opposite. When my family has a really hard
really?
conversation with me right in person, I'm a puddle of tears.
Oh no, I could have the hardest conversation ever, and I'm like, I gotta be strong, I gotta be strong, I gotta be strong. And then as soon as the phone hangs up, I'm like, that was really tough. Like, I just like lose it.
I guess I'm like that sometimes, but not all the time.
You literally saw me do that on the couch the other day.
I did see you do that. You're right. I was like, okay, you need a second.
Yeah.
Yeah, that does happen.
But like on the phone, I was like,
Yep. Maddie was literally on the phone like, yeah, that sounds awful. Okay.
I'm so sorry.
All right, well, yeah, have a good rest of your day. I'll talk to you a little bit later. And then got up and was like... That's exactly how it went. Maddie also, the one day, cried, and I didn't know it until a day later, because I got my feelings hurt one night. I came in and I was just like whining. I wasn't crying. I was just like bitter and like irritated. Maddie's upstairs. I come down here, go back upstairs. She's like, let me scratch your back for a little bit. So I lay down, she scratched my back, and I was like, okay, I'm going to bed. And she sleeps in Emerson's room because I don't let her sleep in my bed.
That's true.
And the next day she tells me like, oh yeah, I was crying that whole time. I had no idea the whole time she's been scratching my back, she's just crying. And then we're talking about it, and I was like, why were you crying? And she starts crying again. And she was like, no, I just like, I didn't like that your feelings were hurt. Like, it made me really sad. So it's not even just that you cry when other people are crying, because I was not crying.
I'm very easily like moved to tears about things that I like. I just feel everything really deeply, and that's intensified times 1,000 with people that I love or like really care about.
She was like, I just never want you to feel like that again.
I literally was like trying to talk through my tears on the couch, and you were like, what is going on?
I told my sister about that the other day for some reason. I forget why. And while we were on the phone, and she was like, oh my god, ew. And I was like, what? And she's like, I don't know how you're as affectionate as you are. And I don't know where my sister's like this, because my whole family's very affectionate, touchy, lovey in your face. She's just not like that at all. She was like, nope, the only person I'm like that with is my boyfriend. Everybody else, like, I would never... She was grossed out by the fact that you said you would scratch my back. She was like, if one of my friends ever said, hey, I'll come scratch your back, I'd say, F off. Like, there's no way you're touching me. And I was like, wait, really?
That's so weird.
I know, that's because we're so different.
Yeah.
She was like, no, you're so... I was like, no wonder her and I, like, couldn't be close until we were younger, because we both couldn't convey that, where I was like, let's have sister time. And she'd be like, get off of me.
Yeah, and you're like, what the heck did I do?
I'm like, please, I just want to lay in bed and watch a movie together. And she's like, only if we can be 10 feet apart. Like,
yeah. Oh, I'm not like that.
Yeah, me either.
I I feel like...
Oh, the original.
Oh, yeah.
We literally
So
both
you
like,
said foster parent
oh, yeah, that's one
or something. No, because there was another part to
No,
that.
it's
There's
just
a specific
You said
part.
foster parent or something. And
No, what was the
some
second?
other bullshit.
No, what's the second part that you said that was very specific? The emergency housing.
Oh, like respite housing.
Respite. That's why I was saying whatever too.
Yeah. Okay.
I didn't remember the word. A dream of mine is to. You only said one, right? Even
Yeah.
though we're doing two. Mm-hmm. My first one is to be a mom
Aww.
and a wife, and to just have like a really healthy, happy home.
Okay. Well, yeah.
I know that's like everyone.
No. I wasn't dismissing it. I was saying like, no, that makes me feel bad because that should have been my first one, but it is also my first one. I just did a different way. But yes, I agree. I think you're gonna be good at that though.
Yeah, I just can't wait to actually make that one like a reality and like come home to my house every day.
Yeah, that's gonna feel good.
And be like,
it's mine.
All this is mine, and like I can set the tone for everything.
No, I love that.
And
I love that.
Yeah, and I can like be in charge of how this goes, knowing what I know or feeling how I've felt.
Yeah,
and just make it everything I wanted it to be.
I was thinking about that actually on the drive back from Hibachi Express, like earlier.
Oh, really?
Well, I was just thinking, I think I have an overconfidence error about parenting. Like, I think I'm just going to be good at it.
Oh, see, I don't. I'm terrified of parenting because I don't
Well, I think we're opposite in this. I don't think I'm going to be great at marriage all the time, but I think you have more confidence in that.
Okay.
I mean, I don't think I'm going to be bad.
Granted, I've been in a 3-year relationship.
Right.
So I at least have some sort of gauge of how him and I operate.
Yeah.
And I know, like, both of our mentality is, like, we can get through anything together.
Yeah.
So, but that's phase 1 of my dream.
It's true.
Like, building a relationship goes into, like, my dream of being, like, a family.
Yeah.
Like, I can't wait, and I hope this is how my family is. Like, I can't wait to go on vacation and, like, enjoy each other. Like, that's a dream of mine.
I can't wait for our families to go on vacation. Actually, that's probably my other dream.
Really?
No, I don't want to add that one, but
okay. Yeah, but having a family that's just, like, that loves each other, and even through all the crap, and everyone's going to fight, and everyone's going to disagree, whatever. But, like, just love spending time together and, like, being a family.
Yeah, your family's I think is gonna be good at that, just because you and Corey already enjoy your time together, and you guys are so like comfortable and goofy and weird. Like, I think that your kids are just gonna be like that.
But that's so weird to have my own.
Yeah. No, I know. I love the idea of creating something by yourself, though. Like, I love that. Like, it's not like when you're babysitting and you have to be like, oh, I don't know if your mom would let you do that. Like, you're the mom, you get to decide. Like,
that's a lot of responsibility.
No, see, but that responsibility doesn't scare me at all for some reason. I just think it would be so fun.
Yeah, I think it'll be fun.
My other one is I really want to. I just realized I said it very calmly, but I'm like partially kidding, but also partially not.
Okay, I'm scared.
I want to win either
a Nobel Peace Prize. I knew you were gonna say
literally a Nobel Peace Prize or a Pulitzer Prize.
Whoa!
Yes, because I want to write a book and I want it to be really effing good.
It's going to be.
Well, it'll be really good. I'm good, but
she's actually very good.
No, I'm very
You're really good.
You're
a great writer.
Yeah. What am I again?
You're a great writer.
Thank you.
You're a little cocky, but you're a great writer.
I'm cocky about like 4 things, and that's one of them.
Yeah.
No, actually, probably 2 things. 3 things. My eyebrows.
Eyebrows, counselor.
Yeah.
Writing.
Yeah. Good job.
Wow.
That was good. That made me feel very loved. Thank you. Yes. Yeah, I want to do that. I want to start something and then get an award for it because I also have a little bit of a wing 3. So I want to like start something and make it be like I don't know. I want it to change things. Yeah. And then I want to actually get an award for it because I'm vain. So that's that.
That's okay.
What's the next one?
My other one, I feel like kind of goes with my first one. I don't want to be a foster parent necessarily. I wouldn't be against that. But I would love to... I don't even know what it's called. I almost want to say host someone. Like, I would love to be like a fill-in family for somebody who's like in a weird situation, not necessarily like it's organized through like an organization or something like that, but I would love to be like them to be my like +1 kid for us for like all of high school or something, or like
That could be cool.
yeah. But
Do you mean like a full, like not like a foreign exchange student, but like you would host someone for that long, like while they go to high school here, or like would you want to be like more of a foster parent kind of deal?
It's like somewhere in between those two things. It's like my kid's friend is like in a bad situation and they need somewhere to stay, and like
You're that family.
I would love to be like, we have a spare bedroom just for this.
Oh, I love
That's
that.
your spot.
See, I think you guys would be such good foster parents. And I don't say that to anybody.
I
think you guys
open
would be
to
really
that.
good.
I am.
I think Corey would be really good at it too.
I think he would be.
Because it's one thing if like I think you'd be good at it, but then like your husband kind of sucks a little bit.
Yeah, you definitely have to have both.
Yes, and I think you would. Oh God, what if I marry someone who would be sucky?
No, you won't.
I never had that fear until right
You
now. My
won't.
chest just dropped.
You won't.
I just
The person
remembered that
you
I was
marry-
single, so it could be anyone.
The person you marry will have those same qualities and values that you do.
Oh God, yeah.
And love
I hope.
people like that. Yeah, 100% he will.
Okay, you're right. Okay.
You wouldn't choose
Come on,
somebody
I'm
who,
sweating. Can we
you
take an intermission?
You wouldn't choose somebody who couldn't operate in that way.
Yeah. You're right.
You wouldn't.
You're right.
You would think it's a red flag
Oh,
early.
100%. I think that's like my first like thing that I gauge actually. Now that I'm thinking about
Me
it.
too.
Of like, yeah.
One of the first things I noticed about Corey outside of him being cute and funny is that he got along with everybody. Like he could find a common denominator and like make
I
conversation
have like
with everyone.
a visual right now of like your like little family and then you guys having like a foster kid and Corey just taking like a really uncomfortable boy out to play basketball. That's what I'm imagining is him just like playing basketball and like the kid warming up.
Me too. Or him
And
being
that
like,
makes me
hey,
wanna
do you want
cry
to
a
go?
little bit.
Do you not want to go play catch in the front yard? And he's like, sure.
And I imagine him doing like a weird wobbly knee dance and I don't know why.
Corey doing
Yeah.
wobbly.
Yeah. And like the kid being like, this guy's weird, but like kind of.
It like loosens him
Yeah.
up a little bit. Yeah. Aww.
Oh. We will just
Start crying. Oh my gosh. Aw.
Okay, well now that we're in our feels a little bit here, we're going to talk about, what are we talking about? Conflict, which also makes me want to cry, and it makes Maddie want to laugh, so.
No, it doesn't.
You're right. Maddie and I do conflict, I wouldn't say that we do it differently, because I think we do it similar, but we have,
We get to the same point, but we go about it differently.
yeah, like
Our
our
approach.
comfort level with it is also very different, where I think you will approach things head on, where I would probably rather drown, I would think.
Yes, I think usually there's two types of people when it comes to conflict. Either you are very confrontational or you're like super conflict avoidant.
I don't know, I think I'm both.
Really? Do you think you're confrontational?
I never know how to answer that question. Yes and no. Kind of.
Really?
Yeah, why? Are you going to say I'm not?
I just thought you would say about yourself that you're not.
I think I've gotten more comfortable with it, like, as time has gone on.
Okay, so what are you confrontational about versus non-confrontational about?
Um,
Like, is it little things like roommate stuff? You'd be like, hey, take out the trash, or like, hey, can you do the dishes?
No.
Okay, you're not confrontational about that.
No, I'm weirdly confrontational with my family. Like,
Okay.
anything with my family, I'm like, I'll nip it in the bud right away.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, I think I'm always I try to be cautious now that I'm an adult of, like, the way that I come off, because I know that I'm very, I don't know. I think my knee-jerk reaction to a lot of things is anger, and I always want to watch myself that I don't say something that I don't mean.
Yeah.
Whether it's, like, nasty
A
or
little
just, like...
snippy or something.
Yeah, or it's just, like, not exactly what I wanted to say, and I say it in the heat of a moment, and it's just like, wait, but that wasn't actually, like,
Yeah.
how I feel. I don't know. I mean, I'm not normally like that most of the time, but I don't know. I don't know what I'm saying anymore.
I feel like I am pretty confrontational usually. I don't like conflict though.
Well, yeah, I don't know anyone that, like, likes it.
I hate conflict,
Yeah.
but because I hate conflict so much, I'm confrontational. If that makes sense.
Okay, so you, like, want to nip stuff immediately.
Because I don't like the conflict of it.
Okay.
And what I recently learned for me, conflict is better than confusion.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why I'm confrontational.
Oh, I would agree with that.
Because I would rather have the issue than be confused.
Yes, I agree, 100%.
Corey, I don't want to speak for him, but hates conflict so much, I think he would rather be not 100% sure than have conflict.
Well, because I don't think the confusion bothers him as much as it would bother you. Whereas the confusion for you, you just thrive off of being sure of yourself. And if you're not, or if you're not sure of the situation...
I hate conflict so much, I want to confront it. He hates conflict so much, he wants to avoid it.
Ooh!
So that's a super interesting dynamic to figure out. And that's my family, too. They hate conflict so much, they want to avoid it.
Ooh, I'm not like that at all.
Yeah.
I would rather have the hard conversation.
I think that's why I'm confrontational, is because of my family.
Yeah.
Because they were very passive about, like, things that should have been talked about.
Yeah.
And that caused me a lot of confusion, and I hated it.
Yeah.
I would rather just know all the facts, good or bad, right away so I can, like, move past it.
Yeah.
But I hate conflict.
Yeah. No, I don't like it either. I think... I don't know. I think part of being an adult, I'm, like, realizing more and more that, like, conflict resolution skills are so necessary to learn, only because I'm not good at them. I don't think most of us learn them.
No.
From, like, I don't know. I don't think you learn basic skills of, like, how to communicate exactly how you feel. And I know that I'm even learning this now as an adult to, like, not think my feelings. Like, I can't say, like, I think that you... Or, like, I can't put how I feel on you at all. Like, I can't say that and say, like, that you made me feel a certain way when you're not capable of making me feel a certain way. I'm only capable of making myself feel a certain way. And I can't say, I feel like you hate me, because that's not, like, I don't feel that. I think that. And, like, that's very different. Like, I feel, I don't know, excluded, but I don't, it's not that I feel like you hate me. That doesn't make sense.
Yes, and I think that's such a good... You have to be aware when you're talking through conflict of your language is so important.
Yes.
You can't say, you made me do this, you made me do that. But what you can say is, regardless of what you meant, when you said that, I felt this way.
Yeah.
And, like, regardless if you were trying to be rude, when you said, my teeth look weird... I'm just using extreme examples and things you've never said. That made me feel ugly.
Yeah.
And then I got insecure, and that's why I was being rude to you.
Right, yeah.
But, like, you have to go through all of the little triggers and things.
Yeah.
Because, like, you saying that I have weird teeth is rude, right?
Yeah.
You have to admit that.
Yeah.
But then I have to admit I got insecure because of what you said, and that's why I was being a jerk.
Right.
Like, a lot of what conflict resolution is vulnerability.
Yes.
And that's the scariest part.
Nope, don't like it.
Yeah.
Don't like it. I think I thought up until, and this was a problem probably like 2 years ago, and you're going to remember this well. Probably like 2 years ago, it dawned on me, like, I thought, okay, once you find your people, you're not gonna have conflict anymore. Like, it's just like everything is like easy peasy. All right, take 7. Sorry, there's so many cuts. We're having a lot of difficulties. So, anyways, back to my genius moment. Well, one of them. Wish I remembered it.
You had an epiphany.
Oh, okay, I had an epiphany. I was under the impression you found your people, and there's never a fight again.
You were under that impression.
No, I think I thought, like, the conflict solves itself whenever you're with the right people. I don't know. I know it was obviously wrong. No, it was obviously wrong. Hold on.
Okay.
Last time we talked about this, you were not that shocked. So why are you
That's
feigning
it's just
shock?
funny.
No, it was funny. Well, I just didn't think it would be, like, an issue, really. I don't know what...
You felt like these people love me, they would never hurt my feelings.
Right, yes.
Just kidding.
Yes. Or, like, the idea that someone would, like, betray your trust was like, oh, no, they wouldn't because they're my people. Like, there's just no way. And then it dawned on me, probably around our senior year of college, like, oh, no. Oh,
funny.
Okay, so that actually, there can still be conflict and you still have to figure out how to do it, which I'm good at vulnerability in a lot of contexts, but there's, like, probably 2 or 3 that are, like, soft spots for me, and one of those conflict. I'm like, whenever I'm
The biggest one.
the biggest one, probably. No, but like I'm good unless I'm like, unless my feelings are hurt.
Yeah, which is always the case with like hard conversations. It's
Yeah.
usually always coming from someone's feelings were hurt.
I think I just thought that hard conversations were optional. If you're with the right people.
Okay, that's
what
interesting.
And not like consciously.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
I think I beat myself up if I like got my feelings hurt or like had a fight with a friend or something like that rubbed me the wrong way. I'd be like, no, that has to be my fault because like
They didn't do that to me.
they couldn't have because they otherwise like I've been wrong about everything. I don't know if that makes
Yeah.
sense. Does that make
No,
sense?
I get that. I'm the opposite though, because everything that to me, growing up, growth and conflict were hand in hand.
Okay.
So I attributed
I almost just therapist you so hard. I almost just went, okay, tell me more about your experience with that. I almost said that out loud and then I was like, don't do that, that's gross.
because every major conflict that I ever sorted through led to like a huge moment of growth in my life. So once I
Okay.
sorted through something that was like a conflict or an issue or like a hard conversation, it always made me better.
Oh. See, I had the opposite experience.
So I always came out thinking like, no, I'm going to get smarter, I'm going to get wiser, I'm going to grow up a little bit, I'm going to figure out why I do what I do, and then I'm going to be better. But then this perpetuated this weird spiral of like, if I can't find conflict to make me better, I make it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So you think you're like, you stir conflict? Just
I don't now. But like in my
You
high
would have.
school relationships,
Oh.
I would like stir up conflict as a way to talk about hard things to make me feel like, oh, we can get through this and then come out the other side better. And we need these hard
Like you needed that for
conversations,
growth.
and we need that for growth.
Which is partially true, but you could partially make that very toxic.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
Because then I was just making issues out of nothing when I really just wanted to like be better in a certain area. I didn't realize that you could talk about those things without like having a hard argument or like a hard conversation about
Yeah.
why I felt how I felt.
Yeah.
And so I just would like make conflict as a way to grow.
Oh.
Or look for conflict as a way to grow. And so
Interesting.
like sometimes Corey's like, well, you're looking at the negative of it. But for me, I'm like, no, I'm looking at the hard part so that I feel like I can overcome it or like outgrow it or whatever. Like there's still traces of that in me now, but I've definitely identified and been able to manage like conflict and growth aren't actually hand in hand at all.
Okay.
And it's not the only way to grow.
Okay. No, that makes sense. I think my favorite thing about what?
It sounded like you were glitching.
I was. No, I was. Hold on, give me a second. I need to reload. Hold on, now I'm stuck. Where I am.
Your
I'm stuck. Hold on.
favorite what?
I was gonna say my favorite thing. Ow! My ankle just popped. My favorite thing. What's happening? Hit pause again. I can't do this. Not favorite, because it certainly was my favorite to learn. But my most important thing that I think I learned about conflict was Surprise, Surprise from Brene Brown, which of course
Yes.
is not a surprise. But this is in Rising Strong. She talks about it because I remember whenever Ruthie and I were fighting for a solid 9 months, I read this book. And it was, I tell it to literally every single one of my students. They're probably sick of talking about it. Your brain needs, for survival mode, an A, a B, and a C.
Yeah.
Like, you need to make up a story. And it doesn't matter if that story is accurate. So if we get into, like, a little, like, if you and I are bickering, I'm going to make up a story about why we were bickering, and it doesn't matter if it's accurate. So my story could be like, yeah, because Maddie's evil, and she's actually always been a bad friend to me. Now that I think about it, she did this, and she did this, and she did this.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter if all of those stories are inaccurate. It will give me dopamine just to come up with some sort of story because it's something that makes sense. And so I feel safe because it makes sense.
Yes.
And so it's like your brain just immediately goes into, like, this is what makes me safe, this is what will give me dopamine, I'm going to take this. But you can build your entire life off of narratives that aren't
False
true.
narratives, yeah.
Which I think is, like,
So scary.
the amount of times that I have used the Brene Brown thing of, like, okay, this is a story that I made up.
of what the experience is, and I've had somebody be like, wait, no, that wasn't what I meant, or how I experienced it, or like, no, that wasn't my intention, has made me realize how many crappy stories I've probably made up.
Yeah.
I have so many crappy stories about other people that are like just not accurate, and I guarantee I've lost friends because of it. Because I know if I would have looked back and had said, okay, the story that I made up about this experience is that, I don't know, and a lot of it came back to me. A lot of it came back to me of like, I messed something up, and that you're always going to think of this whenever you look at me, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And if I look at it from that lens, I'm just like, okay, well, it's very easy for me to just like, I shouldn't say it's very easy, but I like will cut the cord faster than I need to.
Gotcha. I stick around longer than I should.
Yeah. I'm just thinking, I think I do a little bit of both. I think I stick around longer than I should, and then I hit a wall, and I'm like, bye, 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 bye.
See, I stick around longer than I should because I think I have good boundaries. And so I think that we can get past whatever conflict is at hand, and I'll just give it a retry. Because I'm like, no, we've had good boundaries and like done everything well in a friendship sense all the way up to here. But then like if someone was like really, really awful, I would be like, okay, sorry, bye. Yeah, I think you have like a different gauge of that than I do, but I also think you have your gauge that you have is funny to me. Really?
Yes. Because you have like people that you like totally care for. I just think you have better boundaries than I do in general. So I think you don't have that thing of like how it looks to other people where like I think a natural inclination is to see how that looks to other people of like, I don't know, like, okay, if I stop being friends with this person, how is it going to look? Or like, what does that other person think of me? But you don't care about that.
No.
Yeah, so your thing isn't like, I don't know, like if you and I were in a fight, and why did I say it like that? Did you hear that? Yeah, okay, I'm making sure. If you and I were in a fight, and I'm going to think a lot about what your perspective is of me, where I don't think you do that necessarily as much, where I think you're going to be more of like, does this feel right? Is this the right decision?
Yes.
How does it impact the rest of my relationships? Which I think is a healthier way to do it than I naturally do it. I think I've gotten better, but I don't think...
I think that if you and I were in a fight, I wouldn't think about how I'm coming off.
Yeah.
Because I already know in my head that I have your best interest in mind. And so whatever decision I'm making, for both people included, is for the betterment of both of us.
So you don't need to worry about how it looks.
If you think I'm being too harsh or abrasive or whatever, in my head, I have 10 reasons why I'm acting that way.
Right. No, that makes sense. I think that's a healthier way to look at it.
And I'm okay with you thinking that I'm being whatever, because in my head I know why I'm doing what I'm doing.
That makes sense. I think,
but I do care. Like I would hate for you to be like, Maddie's being a rude friend. I would hate that.
Yeah.
But not enough to change what I would do.
Yeah.
Like if you
I think once you've made up your mind about something, you've already thought through every avenue of it.
Yes. It's funny though, because me and you, we never have conflict.
No, we don't, but I don't know why necessarily.
I know exactly why.
Tell me.
At least from my side.
Okay, tell me.
I know exactly what hurts you, or would be a soft spot, or would be something that would cause strife between us, and I'll never go there because it's not worth it to me.
Yeah, I think I would say the same thing.
I would never, in a moment of anger or annoyance or whatever, I would never retaliate and use something that I know full well would hurt you.
But I think you'd be like that with anyone, though. I think that's. But granted, I guess you don't know other people's soft spots.
I would if I know.
Mine. Yeah.
If I hurt somebody's feelings, it's not that I never hurt people.
Yeah.
If I ever did, it was because I didn't know that. It
wasn't with the intent of like, oh, I can't wait to hurt your feelings right now.
Exactly.
Okay. And you just happen to know all my weak spots.
Yeah, because we have that relationship.
Right.
Like we've divulged pretty much everything that we've ever done to each other. Like what would hurt us or make us feel insecure or make us
I thought you
feel
were about to
whatever.
literally just say
all of the things that would
like
make you
I know like your biggest insecurity, which happens to be this.
or this one, or I could go here, just completely out of frame, like slides off.
I'm just gone. The rest of the conversation, just continue. Oh my god. Oh, that didn't sound good. Our spine's broken. Oh.
I didn't even get fully out of.
I heard
frame.
something.
Me too.
Was it your spine?
No, it was my low back.
I want to pick you up, and I don't know. I don't know how.
It's not bad down here.
Yeah. Actually, just stay. Oh, I just grabbed your boob.
If you're not watching, you can't really tell it. Just
Oh
have
yeah, I
the
forgot that
whole
we're
body crack.
podcasting. Okay.
Anyways, yes.
Anyways, yes. Goodbye.
I hate conflict so much. I learn people really well, and I don't use the things that hurt them against them.
I think I do the same thing where it comes to I purposely will learn people really well so that I don't want to say I don't make them mad because I don't always care about that, but like I also don't make people mad. You and I are different this way. I can't stand when people are mad at me. It fuels my panic.
Okay.
I go into like overdrive. It will override my serotonin and just I will panic if anyone's mad at me, even if I don't even like them that much.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Mhm.
I don't care if somebody that doesn't know or understand me is mad at me. Obviously, I don't like it. I'm not saying that I would like to piss anybody off. I don't.
Yeah.
But it doesn't send me into full panic. What does send me into full panic, though, with that is people, like my close inner circle. Like, there's 3 people that if you were, like, perfect example. Haley and I were gonna hang out one night, and I said I couldn't, and you went out with Melissa, and you're gonna laugh. You went.
Oh my god, I know exactly what you're talking about. I screenshotted it. It was so funny.
You went out with 2 of my friends.
Yes.
And then you saw that I was with another friend later because she showed up at my house.
Yeah.
And I think you guys sent me a video, and you're like, "Oh, you can't come out tonight?" Like, "Oh, boo, you're such a liar." And I was literally like having a panic attack in the
Were
car.
you really?
Yeah, I was like, "Oh my gosh, this looks so bad." Like, I look like I didn't want to hang out with them and made up a lie. And then all of a sudden,
it didn't. Yeah.
I was hanging out with somebody else. But the thought of you, like, being pissed off or, like, hurt by me, that I, like, chose to hang out with somebody else.
I want to find the screenshot.
I literally was like, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, like, this is horrible. This
Maddie
is
sent
terrible.
me a picture on Instagram, not even like a regular photo.
No,
It was-
you guys sent me a video on Instagram.
Oh, that's me like, yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's why I responded on Instagram.
And then she sent me back, like, a couple videos you were, like, being sarcastic back, but then you were like, no, but are you really mad?
Yeah, I was like,
no, you idiot, I'm not actually mad. Wait, let me find it.
you
I
guys
know I have-
sounded
Here.
so mad.
You said, you're mad at me for real or for fun?
And it's
With the
literally
little-
me with, like, the biggest boo-boo face
Hold on,
ever.
I'm putting it in the camera. So you can see it. Oh, please focus.
I had to know.
Is it not going to work that way?
You're
Probably
too
not.
close.
Oh, there it is. Yeah.
Like, if you were mad at me, if Corey's mad at me, like, I literally am like,
Go into damage control.
yeah, I
guess
hate
that's
it.
true too. I don't
see
care. There's
me in
certain people I
conflict
don't
with
care.
other friends, like,
Yeah.
you know what I'm talking about? I literally cried on the couch because I was like, I don't want to be a bad friend. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. And if I'm doing something wrong, I'm not doing it on purpose.
Mm-hmm.
And then I just feel really helpless because I'm like, I feel like I know my friends well, and then to hurt them just sucks.
Yeah, no, I'm not good. My like worst idea of a conversation is you sitting me down and saying like, "Hey, just letting you know, like, a couple days ago you really hurt my feelings."
Ooh, yeah.
I lose my effing mind. But here's the thing: I think that we're old enough now to like have those conversations and it look like that versus like, "Hey, you said this and it just hurt my feelings," versus like. My natural inclination is, like, in the moment to say something snarky.
Oh, mine's not.
See, I go snarky immediately. Like, if you said something that just rubbed me the wrong way, I'll go like, oh, really, Maddie? Then screw you. Anyways, like...
No, I used to...
And I'm not going to hurt your feelings. Like, I'm not going to go for the gut on anything.
Okay.
But I'm going to, like... I think you would know.
I
think
to
you've
be
seen me do it.
so sarcastic with my ex.
Okay.
Like, super just like... Okay, well then do this and this.
Yep, no,
like
that's
really,
what yeah.
like okay, but
I go into shutdown real quick. That's my shutdown. I was like, oh, awesome. Okay, cool. I'm gonna go then. Like that's my knee jerk. And I work on it. I'm a lot better than I used to be. But my knee jerk is that.
I never do that. Now I'm like, okay, what did I do? When did this start? How can I backtrack to make sure that this never happens again?
Yeah.
And now that I know what I know, I'm super hard on myself. I'm like, I'm an idiot. Why didn't I know this?
Okay.
And then I get like really hard on myself, which I feel like is also not beneficial to a certain degree.
Well, no. I mean, like, you have to have certain levels of, like,
Yeah.
you're able to self-critique a little bit and, like, fix it.
Yes.
But then it's also if you start to ruminate. It's different.
Yes, exactly. And then I'm like, oh my God, like, what if I do something and then you're not going to forgive me,
Yeah.
and then our relationship isn't the same, and then I just ruined it and it's my fault. That sounds terrifying to me.
Yeah. No, that makes sense.
And that's where I'm willing, like, say I did something to hurt your feelings, I would, like, A, never even go near that possibility again.
Yeah.
And B, that's the people I have a lot of loyalty to. I'm totally fine with cutting other people or things out if it affects the like inner circle people.
Yes, you are like that. Yeah.
So like,
I think I'm like that too.
Yeah, if you said someone else that I was really close to was like really, really, really detrimentally mean to you and said something like awful, I would be like, okay, cool. So I'm not friends with them anymore.
Right. And that's not because you feel like being petty. It's just
I'm like, I'm not being friends with somebody who's going to treat my friend that way.
Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, I have an exploratory question.
Okay.
How do you know the line of, like, when there's too much conflict? Like, this isn't worth it anymore. To, like, keep having conflict over and over, whether it's different things or the same things.
That's a great question. I think conflict isn't always a bad thing, but I think good and healthy conflict ends with people still feeling valued.
Okay.
When your conflict leads to you feeling devalued every time, I would categorize that as unhealthy conflict.
Okay. No, I would agree with that.
Because you can have, and you're bound to have conflict in this life over a bunch of different things, but there's a difference when we make it me and you versus the problem and me and you versus each other.
For sure.
And people can get very critical and rude, and that's when you say things you don't mean and you call people names.
Yeah.
If we were in a conflict and you feel devalued as a friend every time we walk away from the conversation, it's eventually not going to be worth it because they're saying and speaking things about you and to you that don't do any good. Yeah. But you can get through tough conversations and tough conflict and at the end still say, like, I love you, we're good, and we're fighting because we're trying to make things right, not because you're a bad person and I'm a bad person. So it's like all your relationships, your friends, and you get to choose who you invite into your life.
Yeah.
And those people should build you up and they should value you. And like I said, stuff's going to happen, but that doesn't mean that you have to make the other person feel like crap every day.
Right, no, that's true. I think if you leave a conflict scenario feeling like you were stupid for bringing it up, I think most of the time that's going to be a no-go. Like, that's not a safe space for you to bring conflict.
Yeah.
Because you're never going to be able to solve a conflict if you feel like you're unsafe in that situation. It's just, you're never going to be able to reach any kind of resolution.
Right, and like your best friends or your significant other, like nothing should be off the table.
Yeah. And I think if you're trying to solve the same problem over and over again just in different ways, then you gotta go. But like, if it's the same problem every single time and nobody's taking any action to make it any different, whether that's you or the other person, obviously depending on what that is, then eventually it's like there's only so much you can do.
Yeah, and like with those like repeat offenders, at the end of the day, if you're asking something of them and they keep doing something over and over again, that leaves you devalued. Yeah. That leaves you feeling unseen and unheard and like misunderstood.
Yeah, because you wasted all this time and energy.
Yeah, and you're like, it's not, if I'm worth it to you, it's not that hard of a thing to fix. No. Like, nothing outweighs what our relationship or our friendship is enough for me to choose something over and over again over something that hurts you.
I think that's where I have issues with conflict. Like at my core, that's where I have issues because the idea of asking something of someone and them not delivering because they just don't care that much would like crush me.
Yes.
I think that's where I draw the line. I mean, I'm getting better. Like I think I can ask it now and be like, no,
I need that, and that's like a full sentence. It doesn't
Yeah.
require any justification as to why I need that, or like, and it doesn't mean I'm asking for the world. Like, you're right, I shouldn't have to ask somebody to say, like, hey, help me feel like a valuable person.
Right.
Because
yeah.
that's like that's a cop-out. But saying
Yeah.
like, hey, I need you to like act like you care about me a little bit. Like that, I will set the bar stupid low just so that you can meet it, and I think that's where I get my issue there of like because if I have to bring it up, then I feel like the problematic one of like I'm asking too much. I always feel like I'm asking too much. Even in situations where I'm like, hey, Maddie, don't what's an example?
I don't know.
I can't think of an example for some reason. But if I asked something like really basic of you and you didn't do it, that would like, I'd be like, all right, well, screw it then. And my thing is to, like, instead of get hurt, would be to get defensive and
But
be like,
really-
well, no, she's just a bad friend and I don't want her to hang out anymore.
And really, the language, if you're being honest, was that really hurt me.
Yes,
That
yes.
you chose that thing over something that I was vulnerable to you about.
Yeah. One of the things that I have in the girls who need some help in like conflict resolution, one of the things that we do in therapy a lot, and it's so basic, is just like I feel statements. And I'm realizing as I do them with them, sometimes that I'm really bad at them. Like as I'm helping them do it, I realize just like what my knee-jerk reaction is and how many times I've acted on it. And of course, I do think I'm getting better, but like my knee-jerk reaction to a lot of things is not healthy.
I think everyone will have to deal with conflict resolution and admit that they need to get better for their whole lives.
Oh, 100%, yeah.
Like, even if you're good at practicing whatever things you have in place or whatever reminders in your head you have, I think we'll always need to be like, my gut reaction and my knee-jerk reaction doesn't actually help me.
Yeah.
And you have to like retrain your brain that that's not helpful.
Yeah. I think I'm learning the most helpful ways of approaching it. I'm starting to practice with my family first just because I think they're
You
safer.
can-
They have to love me. At the end of the
Right,
day.
yeah. You
Just-
can say anything and you probably already have said,
Yeah.
a million things under
Yeah.
the sun, and still you call them every week,
And I think there's a big part of that too that comes with apologizing that I've had to learn a lot with my family that feels gross. And I actually have realized I used to be terrible at apologizing and admitting that I was wrong. I've gotten a ton better because I love apologizing.
I do too.
It's the most freeing thing. Instead of trying to like hold up your defenses and pretend like you never made a mistake, that feels exhausting to me. The idea of just saying like, man, I'm sorry, that was not my finest moment, like I should have never made you feel like that. The most freeing thing.
Yes, and as knowing all the things that you or me know about conflict, sometimes I think certain people aren't good at conflict because they don't know how to put words to their emotions.
Yes.
And so being somebody who maybe is better at that, saying, hey, I'm sorry that when I said this, it might have made you feel X, Y, and Z, and I didn't realize that when I said it.
Yeah.
Like, giving words to somebody else's emotions can also help them figure out, oh, that's why I got pissed off, because it actually triggered me.
Everyone should have a feelings wheel in their home.
A feelings wheel? What's
Yes,
that?
I love a good feelings wheel.
What's that?
Oh my gosh, look at my feelings wheel on Pinterest. I have them in my office. We go through it. Every girl has to say how she feels in 2 different words. But it gives you like colors, and you can figure out which color you fit in, and then you figure out words based off the colors. Because a lot of times you don't know what you feel until you see it. And you're like, oh shoot, I'm not just angry. That's like a surface emotion, but my core emotion under this is that I'm disappointed. And
Right.
you didn't like, you wouldn't know to say that. You'd be like, oh, I'm pissed at you, Maddie. But really, I'm just disappointed that you didn't follow through with X, Y, and Z.
Yes. Yeah, okay, I like that.
Yeah. Emotion identification is key. What was the other thing I was going to say? The other key?
I was going to say
self-awareness.
Oh, yes.
Is that what you were going to say?
No.
Oh, I thought that's what you were about to say. Yeah. No, I think it's the worst thing ever.
Self-awareness?
No, conflict resolution.
Oh.
I love self-awareness, but conflict resolution is a whole other beast in itself because it's like you never really like get away from it.
Yeah.
You have to do it in different settings all the time, and it's also but then there's also a chunk of it that's picking your battles and knowing like what.
That's what I was going to say.
Oh, really? Okay.
I've learned at least, I think I've learned this the most in my relationship. Not everything that bothers me is,
A discussion.
discussion material.
Okay.
Because I have to realize and be self-aware enough that this is a me issue and it actually has nothing to do with what he said.
For sure, yeah.
And then B, when you talk about issues across the board in the same tone and have the same level of seriousness, whether it's like, you know, a minor issue and I'm, you know, hey, we have to have this conversation, it really bugged me.
Yeah.
And I'm treating it at, you know, level 5 serious. And then when we do have a serious, like, actual hard conversation that we need to, like, get through, if I put both of those on the same level, then that actually lessens the seriousness of an actual really hard conversation.
Yeah. No, that makes
And
sense.
so for me, I'm like, I want to treat the serious conversation serious.
Yeah.
And I want to be able to gauge whether this is a brush off moment and give that person the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah.
And just be like, whether they meant that or not, I'm just, it's okay.
Yeah.
And then that way you can kind of decipher and like rank in your head, like, oh no, this is a level 3 for me.
Yeah.
Like, I need to have this conversation. Or this is a level 5. Like, we need to actually like sit down, look at each other, and like figure this out.
Yeah.
But another thing that was really like weirdly freeing for me was learning that you can't expect the other person to respond how you would. I think that hurt me a lot in friendships and in like past relationships. I'm like, I know exactly what I would do and say right here.
Yeah.
It's so easy.
Yep.
Like, just help me help you by saying exactly and loving you exactly how I would do it.
Yeah.
And realizing that them not
not
doing
like
it
that,
the
yeah.
exact same way that I would do it doesn't mean that it's coming from a different place.
Ow.
It's just their version and their way of loving you, and it looks different.
That's so annoying. Because if they just did it like me, it'd be better.
Exactly.
No,
But
that's
once you
annoying.
like give that up, then you're able to just be like, okay, they're coming to me with the motive to fix this, and however they go about it is totally fine, and I'm just going to be receptive to it because they're showing effort that they care to fix.
I think, like, in the
issue.
same vein, my issue is, like, not wanting to tell people that I need anything from them. And so I never tell people what I need, and I just assume that they should know. And then I'm bitter whenever they don't know.
But that's because you're really good at reading the needs of other people.
No, exactly. That's part of the problem where I'm like, oh, no, I know exactly what you need in this moment. And granted, I'm almost always right. So my brain is like, oh, yeah, no, they should know exactly what I need and they should get it right on the first try. And then if you don't deliver, just because that's not the way that you express how you care about me, my brain is like, I have to fight that inclination a lot, which I've gotten way better.
I think I've, at least with Corey, I don't have any pride with him. Like, I'm not too prideful to say anything.
Yeah.
I'm actually probably on the way other side, where I'm like a little too vocal. And I'm like, so do you think I'm clingy? Like, do I tell you too much stuff? Like, am I over vocalizing? Like, hey, I need you to do this, and it like actually really doesn't matter if it's done or
Am
not.
I over vocalizing how vocal I am? Does that make you mad? Are you mad that I'm saying things?
I
still?
think it's because I'm a verbal processor and Corey is not.
Yeah.
He's like, if we have conflict, he's like, okay, I need a few minutes to myself, and then we'll talk. And I'm
see,
like,
I think I'm
I
Corey.
need to do it. Oh, really? Oh,
I think I'm Corey. If we're in a fight, I'm gonna be like, give me 10 minutes to get my
Thoughts
my
together?
head straight, and then we can talk. Because right now I can't.
Oh, I'm not that way. You're Corey on that.
I am Corey on that. I think I just need like a second. Even though I do verbally process a lot, but I think I like to go into things ahead of time, like having a gauge on how I feel. What I was gonna say before is I think I've gotten a lot better with conflict as I've gotten more confident, which I think is a lot of people's issue because I don't need everybody's validation on things. Like, I'm so good with me regardless. Like, I just have
I think
my
people
points about things.
avoid conflict because they don't know what they deserve.
Yeah. And I think you're a lot more willing to learn once you already have a good view of you, because if you're always very insecure about your view of yourself, every conflict is going to shake it.
Yeah, it's very true.
I say a lot of true things.
You do.
I'm so smart. Do you want to tell me about how smart I am?
You have a master's degree. You are smart.
Keep going.
No.
Okay. So that's conflict.
Love that.
That's everything you need to know about conflict. We
That's-
based it.
That's our take. I'll translate what Haley was just saying there.
This is a book ad for Rising Strong for Brene Brown.
I've never read that.
Oh,
Everything Haley loves, I've never looked into.
I love that. So
At least
basically,
Brene Brown wise.
if Maddie really cared about me, what she would be doing would be caring about the things I care about. But she only cares about me a little bit, and that's enough.
No, I just.
No, it's okay.
Let
Just
me
a
dig
little bit.
myself out of my hole right here.
Yeah.
I love you so much.
Yeah.
I would rather you explain it
Mm-hmm.
and just tell me what it means instead
Because I'm
of.
so brilliant when I share things with you, it really
Yes.
hits home. But you don't have that connection with Brene like I do, but you have a connection with me.
Mhm.
Right.
I also don't
Yeah.
want to read.
Yeah, because you're not very
Smart.
bright. But you're pretty.
I hate you.
Here's just a little thing I wrote out in the margins. If I believed that I was not being treated fairly or not getting something I deserved, was I actually asking for it, or was I just looking for an excuse to assign blame and to feel self-righteous?
Truth bomb for you.
Ouch. I have a lot of ow and a lot of cuss words written in the margins of this book.
I see one wow. I see it oh no. I see it interesting.
What other words I got going on here? Yeah.
Yeah.
Just yeah.
Just a heavy agreement.
Yes. Yes. Yeah, a lot of owls. Okay, so yeah, that's basically there's a lot of
We're not the experts. This is just our take on
I know you came here
conflict.
expecting the experts, and that's not what you got today.
But if you do have questions and feel like we might be able to talk to you about it, we have crazy families.
Oh, yeah.
We have crazy friendships. I've been
Yeah.
in a few serious relationships. I don't know what else.
Leave me out of that, will ya?
Divorce.
You've been through a divorce?
No, I just mean like we have.
I've been through several divorces as well, so I can tell you a lot about the fights I had with my ex-husbands. None of them were my fault.
And that's on conflict resolution.
And my 6 divorces... It's too late.
6 divorces.
My 6 divorces.
You need to just go to bed.
Yeah, I'm gonna go to bed before I get another divorce just because I'm bored.
Okay. What?
don't
Okay,
know.
yeah, we gotta go. If you want to talk to us, you can. That's what we're trying to say.
I don't know. If you want to talk to us, you can. If you want to text me, you can. If you don't want to, I don't care.
And that's on. Okay, bye.
And that's
I
on.
was trying to come up with something, but I couldn't.
And that's on.